was feeling lost, now I'm feeling found.
Peace world, this is Kalani Caraballo representing Street Dreams Fanzine. I'm here with the Cause.
What's going on, people? It's your boy the Cause coming back at you with Conversations with Cause Part 3. We here at Kearney, New Jersey at the Comeback Co.
Check it out.
Let them know the Beretta blow. Ain't holding guns, got my mind cocked, let it go. Lyrical changes, spiritual spaces. Where was you raised this? Somewhere in spaces. Far from atheists, far from the races. Far as the greatest.
Low key, I mean, I know a lot of people don't know, but I've known you for a while. Like, we've talked since, like, you know, your beginnings, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's always funny, man. I always wanted to ask you, man. How did we get introduced, man?
I think it was Real Deal Radio or Real Deal 201.
Okay.
That's the first time I remember my song getting played on anything. Mm-hmm. Ever.
Yeah.
Maybe 16 years old or something.
Okay.
And yeah, you was a part of that at that time, and then we just do everything. We continue to stay in contact.
As I remember, like, talking to you on, like, AIM, man, I was thinking about it, like,
damn, it's that far back? Damn.
Yeah, like, I remember us, like, talking
yeah, probably
for a while,
like high
man,
school, like when I was in high school, probably.
Yeah, it was always just, I don't know. It was always something that I always wanted to know, man, because I forgot how, like...
That's how far back it is, bro.
Yeah.
That's like literally, I might have been Young Cause at that time. People don't even know about Young Cause.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
That's back.
Yeah, man. So then, all right. So for a while, I've known you as a solo artist. I mean, that's how I met you as, man. And your first project was Truth Hurts, right?
I would say my first notable project, yeah.
All right, man. So then, at some point, you actually had lost that album, though, the Truth Hurts album, right?
Yeah.
I thought I heard that recently, that you actually were, like, asking around for things.
Mm-hmm.
How did you go about losing it, and, what was the story behind that?
So at that time, it was just a falling out with a producer that I was working with that produced the album. And just, I guess, like, some ego shit where he, like, deleted everything that we had. And it was whatever, because then I just went on to fuck with Knowledge and do Jersey Shore and Discovery, so it just got, way better. And then I went on to obviously drop Release Party and now Release Party 2. But that's all it was, man. He just took everything offline, and I never put it back up. I didn't really care to do that at the time. And then once I started my solo journey back up again, I was like, I want to put this back out there. And I kind of revised it, took some songs out, and the only real thing I needed was actually like the cover, which I would still love to have that cover. It was so dope. It was like, it shows me at like 19, me with like a big ass chain on, smoking a cigarette with a Jersey Devils hat. I think it was like a block on South Patterson in back of me. Okay. For whatever reason. And that cover, it was so ill. But other than that, I had all the songs, and I added a couple more songs that fit the mold and let it back out there.
And I saw a notable one, man, with Elder Sensei, man, for the Artifacts.
Shout out to L. Shout out to Team 1. R.I.P. DJ Chaos.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Artifacts all day.
How did you guys end up looking up for that one?
That was around that time, too. I think I was like 20 when I first started doing shows. Anybody from Jersey will remember the Armory Tavern, Garden Variety, Self. I could name a million people that used to go through them shows. I know you went to some of those shows. I kind of caught, I think it like more towards the end. But I did like 3 shows with them, I think. And there was one show I had. It was at the Armory Tavern in Newark. And I had just performed, like I said, 1920. And I first met Ramageddon, and his eyeballs was big as hell. He was like, yo, that last joint you did, you should have did that first. I had this 16, I did the G joint by Styles P. It was some hard shit. Okay. And anyways, then I immediately went outside to go smoke a bogey, as I used to do back then. I don't smoke no more. Okay. But back then, I was on like a pack a day, heavy on the Newport 100s. And I went outside, and this dude was like, yo, you killed it. I'm like, good looks. And he was like, can I get a cigarette? And I was like, yeah, but I hope you ain't tell me that to get a bogey off me. And I see his man's laughing, and his Elder Sensei. And I'm 20. I never met nobody at that point. Okay. Like, at all. So, El's a legend. Artifacts, I mean, Between a Rock and a Hard Place, that's an album that is close to me. So I was just like, oh shit, Elder Sensei. Like, yo, it's good to see you out here. Not knowing, like, to me, he's like Tom Cruise or some shit. Like, you out here? You just out here with us? Like, and so yeah, that's how I met him. And then actually the same producer that I was working with at the time on Truth Hurts, he had actually reached out to him because I probably was too shy to, I wasn't even thinking that. I just was happy to meet him. Yeah. You know, I'm just coming into the game, 20 years old, young as hell, just, you know, really starting hard. And he reached out to him and, you know, I had laid some shit, made sure as hell to get it clean as fuck. The most perfect song I could do at that time. It had to be a Jersey record. It just had to. Like, that's just what it was about. So that's what we, you know, we jumped on. We did it for Jersey. And that's one of those first records that I think really started to carve out, like, that path of just, like, great music for me. And working with Elder Sensei and then years later performing it with him at Blue Room Lounge.
Yeah, I had seen that video.
Oh, man, like, I can't thank El enough. Like, he, especially at that stage of the game, he was a huge inspiration. And he always amazes me how, you know, he just continues to live on and the artifacts continue to do their thing. You feel me?
Man. I mean, he puts in the legwork, man. I mean, especially with the merch game. Like, I mean, it's an inspiration, man. My next question was, so now, in 2010, now, you and Knowledge linked up for I Used to Dream. Mm-hmm. How did that come about, and how did the partnership between you two start?
Knowledge was another local artist, and he started reaching out to me. I think, you know, when he started seeing what I was doing, he wanted to work. And eventually we jumped on some songs together. Like, you know, we just meshed. At that time, it was like the perfect just hip-hop duo. I guess in a way it was like, you know, I started like mentoring him at that time, which is crazy because then I got to give him a lot of credit because the fact that I Used to Dream, that was his song. Yeah. And he put, you know, time into it. He actually sped the record up more. And I remember he called me on the phone and he was like, yo, I got this song I want you on. Or he might have told me after I had spit him the verse for I Used to Dream. I had a whole thing, like a whole bunch of verses that I was just rapping to him on the phone that I had wrote. And he was like, yo, that one, save that one. We gonna put that on this song I got. And I'm like, all right, if it fits. And then, you know, it fit like a glove. That song is like an all-time classic for me. You know, it's one of them songs that, you know, if the Elder Sensei joint was like the tip of the iceberg, then, you know, I Used to Dream was just like taking it over the top. Like, damn, we could really do this. You feel me? Had the whole squad out there. I mean, good memories. Yeah. And actually, to bring it back to before, on one scene when we on the rooftop and I Used to Dream, that's actually in Union City at where Real Deal Radio was.
That's what's up.
So
yeah, I thought I knew that roof.
Yeah, shout out to Morbius too.
Oh yeah, shout out to Morbius too, man.
Facts.
Yeah, man. So I noticed that the Jersey Shore is actually approaching 9 years since its release.
Wow.
And it's actually 5 days to be exact, on November 11th.
He did his research.
Yeah, man. So how does it feel hearing that? Knowing that, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't even know that
this for almost 10 years, like, actively, man.
It's crazy. I mean, Jersey Shore is another, like I said, it just kept, you know, like I said, from the Take a Ride with Elder Sensei, I Used to Dream, then going into Jersey Shore was like, now we got a project. You know, it's like me and Knowledge on a collaborative project, just saying, like, we about to kick the door down. And at least for now, locally, Jersey, New York, wherever, you know, we spread out to, like, we gonna get our names out there, and that's what we did.
Oh yeah, man. I like the EP a lot, man. I mean, that was like, I guess, like my first real time actually like hearing a cohesive project from you at the time, man.
Word.
My favorite joint was Garden State, and
that's a dope one.
I think I've always said it to you, man, that I think y'all should have did a video. Why wasn't there ever a visual to that? I thought that was like the best record on the whole thing, man.
I know Ramageddon, he used to tell me that too.
Like, I thought, like, the video to me, man, like, wrote itself to treat, man. I felt like, man, hearing that record.
I mean, it's crazy because we did only 2 videos off that EP, and I guess that's just what was right for us at the time, but when I realized that too, I'm like, damn, we ain't even do 3 videos. Like all these, we had 8 songs on there, which 8 songs you can't even call that an EP. Nowadays, that's a full album.
Yeah.
But back then, it felt not. It felt like half of what you would normally get. So, first time I worked with Mr. Green, produced Last Time Breathin.
How was that?
Amazing. And then we worked with him again as a duo on Final Destination with Big Rube and DJ Priority on Discovery. But also on Jersey Shore, I worked with another local legend, Shawn Lov from Trenton. Worked with the legendary, not me, but Shawn Lov worked with the legendary Tony D, who produced for Poor Righteous Teachers. Right. Came up with him. That was another guy I met through the Garden Variety shows besides Elder Sensei that I was like, because to me, it's like, yo, if I had your CD, you was famous to me. Yeah. I didn't know nobody.
I get that. I'm the same way.
Yeah,
the same way.
I just, these are like my first couple of shows. So to meet Shawn Lov, I'm like, yo, you here? I got Waiting for a Ghost. Like, that was his big album to me. And, everybody that we worked with on there, Half Centric, Steeve Sam, Krash Battle, it was just dope as hell all around.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. So 2013, man, you guys dropped the Discovery, man. A full length.
Yes.
So now you guys did the full length, man. What was that process like? And are you proud of that? Are you still proud of that project?
Oh, yeah. I'm proud of all of these projects because these are like, it's like your children for an artist. Discovery was a long process. I think it might have took about 2 years to do that album, 2.5 years. Because coming off the EP, I was like, yo, we can't just, we're not even going to settle right now. We're going to keep working because we had already been putting in work solo for a couple of years. I really wanted to get something out of this moment. I was like, we need to do the album that we could go to Cali, that we could go to Europe, that we could go to Japan, that we could go out of state now with. We had Jersey Shore EP to let y'all know. We coming from Jersey, and all y'all think of us at that specific time when it came out is Jersey Shore, the show. And we like, nah, this is our Jersey. And now it's like New Jupiter, Discovery, discover us, the whole world discover us, you feel me? And the process was very interesting. I could probably do a whole interview just off that alone. But that was definitely a monumental time, and everybody that was involved, Fatboi Sharif, 89 the Brainchild, everybody that was around at that time, it was crazy.
It's dope, man. I mean, and during that time, I know you mentioned Big Rube, man.
Yeah.
How did you foster that, man? How did that happen, man?
The heavenly Twitter. The heavenly Twitter, man. I was working overnight. Shout out to all my Kmart people, Route 4, Elmo Park. We used to work to the morning time. And I'm just, I would just listen to my music and work because, you in there all night. Yeah. And, you start texting people, whatever you could do. This is like way back, So I'm probably 22 at that time. And I'm just texting Fatboi Sharif. Like, yo, watch me get Big Rube on this album. Because I just became, at that point, which was a little late to get into them, but I became a huge Dungeon Family fan. Mm-hmm. That was a part of my life where I just needed to find their music, and they one of my biggest inspirations. Mm-hmm. And especially because at that time, just the inspiration they gave me to make Discovery and to I just love all them motherfuckers. Even meeting all of them guys like Gip and Cool Joe, Timo.
Yeah. I think I had seen the video. You guys chilling on the tour bus.
Rico Wade, Sleepy Brown. Those guys are man. I almost met Cee-Lo, but next time he's one of my favorite artists. Andre 3000, Outkast is that's my shit. Yeah. So I needed to tap into that. That's the energy I was coming with. So I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna holler at Big Rube. 13th Floor it's amazing to me. That's one of my favorites. Liberation. I mean, Big Rube is so lit that I was like, we need to do something with him. And the fact that we had a Mr. Green beat, I was like, yo, actually, I gotta, again, this is my third time saying his name, but I gotta shout out Fatboi again. He was really what made that happen because Discovery was finished by the time we started still trying to work on Final Destination. It wasn't coming out exactly how we wanted. And we was about to just say, that's it. And Fatboi was like, look, you just spoke to Big Rube on the phone about doing the joint. You got his contact. Y'all already got a beat from Mr. Green, who, you know, was just big to me from like his work with Pacewon, and that first album they did is like a classic for me. Yeah. So it was just big all around, and getting DJ Priority from Patterson on it is like, it was lit. So, you know, Fatboi is the one that really made me be like, you know what, we got this great album, but let's not put it out until we do this song. And I think Knowledge, he was definitely a little mad because he was younger and he just wanted to just get it out. And I was like, you know what? Let's get it done. And now that, you know, we took that extra time out, we went out to Atlanta, shot the video. That's when I first met, you know, obviously Big Rube in person, but also Sleepy Brown, Rico Wade, Ray Murray, you know, better known as Organized Noize. So that was an amazing experience. So, you know, I always just hold that whole time dear. My connection and relationship with Big Rube, you know, we got a new joint on the new project. Yeah, exactly. You know, I know we're going to talk about that, but, you know, just a real OG inspiration, knowledgeable guy, just the kind of guy that you just happy to know and to be connected to that camp in any way is like a dream come true. So nothing but love to the Dungeon family.
Yeah, that's fire, man. I mean, what I know Big Rube from, and you know, it's purely my ignorance, but I know him from doing the comic in ATLiens.
Yo, I just actually found out that he did that not too long ago.
It bugged me out because I think I may have like stumbled on. I had bought like ATLiens, like the physical album, like at like a flea market, probably with you, man. Probably with him, and fucking and I had always known that there was a comic in there, and when I had opened it up and saw that it was done by Big Rube, it made me think about you and the song y'all did. So
yeah, I just found that out, and I found out that he did the Goodie Mob logo.
Okay.
He created that. I mean, Big Rube is like, man, he's responsible for a lot of shit. He's like a mastermind for real.
Yeah, I gotta look more into it, man. So I mean, so a little after this time, you guys both ended up breaking up.
Yeah.
Was it always the plan for y'all to, at a certain point for you guys to go solo, or was the initial goal always to be, you know, a unit?
That's what made it so crazy, is there really was no plan, you know. When we linked up around that I Used to Dream time, that is the last song either of us did with the producer that produced True Hurts, and you know, we went our separate ways with that. We just, I think I told him like, yo, we got all these songs together. People know us from working together. It was like a, you know, now like a West Side Benny, like certain duos like that. Jada Styles, it was like one of them classic duos. So I was like, we should just do a project with I Used to Dream, with some of the songs that are mixed. We was just starting to get our shit mixed for real. And, you know, let's make this album. And he was like, nah, let's do all new shit. So we did, you know, them 8 new joints and everything like that. And then it was just like, you know, we just did these 8 songs. Like I was saying, we got to go do the album now. And then it just kind of like all came to a halt where it was like, all right, where does it go next? You feel me? So it wasn't really planned. It's just one of them things that's just kind of where it went after that. You feel me?
I think one time GardenStateHipHop.com or one of those sites had put up a list of like top Jersey artists for that certain year, and I was like, "Yo, why isn't the Cause of Knowledge on this list?" And I was like,
"But they put us in their cipher, so
yeah, they put y'all. I know they put y'all in the cipher,
but we I'm gonna say this because I don't know if I ever said it publicly. The Garden State Cipher, I think it was like 2013. Me and Knowledge was in it. Yo, on some real shit. Everybody did their thing, but we came with like some otherworldly shit, and I think people wasn't really ready for that. If you look at the comments. People were saying everybody was dope, but I feel like we didn't get our just due. Like, I remember writing that rhyme for a minute. Like, that was a big deal to me to be a part of that cipher. Shout out to Rodney, who runs Garden State Hip Hop. But yeah, that's another great memory right there.
I'm trying to think, man. I think I had seen a cipher. I don't know if it was the same. Were you guys in the same one with Venomous?
Nah, he did it, I think, the year before. Either the year before or like 2 years before. Yeah, but he was in the Garden State Cipher. Yeah,
it's a little wild, man. Because in that Garden State Cipher, there's a young Crimeapple.
Yep, and he was in it with us too.
Oh yeah, okay.
He wasn't in the same cipher, but it was the same, you know, video. They had maybe, let's say, 4 or 5 different groups of ciphers.
Yeah.
And he was in one of the later ones. If you look behind him, you can see some of my people vibing with him and the whole, the rest of his cipher and stuff.
Like I said, man, so going from a situation that on the outside looked like it was working, man, did you feel you had to reestablish yourself as a solo artist after?
Definitely. And I want to say, too, like, you know, even though sometimes it's not always easy to, like, you know, go from, you know, dealing with changes and relationship changes and business changes. But, you know, I look back on that time as far as me and Knowledge as a duo, and even why I'm putting certain songs back out there on streaming now, just so people will have Lucky Newport, Hope, things that is just dope pieces of art that people need to be able to listen to. But I think we got ourselves to the point that we subliminally wanted to. Like, we got our name out there. We did amazing things. We worked with legends together. We put out each other onto a lot of shit. We had amazing shows, along with 89 and Brainchild and Fatboi Sharif. Strange Colors Days was fucking reckless, running through fucking crowds, going fucking ridiculous at shows. Like, we would have fun. Fatboy taking his shirt off, 89 Walli, you know, but
Yo, shouts to Fatboy, man.
Shouts to Fatboy.
I love that dude, man. I love that dude, man. So I feel like, man, through that time after everything, man, I feel like you started really diving into your mental health. Is that safe to say? And what has your mental health journey been like, if you don't mind talking about it?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say, you know, my journey overall, just growth as a person. You know, for me, everything comes from love of the music. So it starts as an artist, then you get to the point where, you know, you just want to, you know, do your thing. So there's certain things you got to do. You got to be right mentally, physically. You know, you start wanting to be healthier. You start wanting to be healthier in your mental. You know, you just want to make sure that you don't get in your own way, because, you know, it's easy to blame other people and say what everybody else is doing. But if you have things that are not really on point for where you need to go and that's going to stop you from going there, and you want to go there, the only thing you could do is take care of it, because, you know, you want to live a true life. You want to do your thing. So it's like, you know, my journey has just been kind of like, that's what it's been like. You know, what do I need to do to get to where I'm going? Be more positive? Okay. Do I need to, you know, exercise more? Do I need to eat better? Do I need to, you know, start meditating to really get on point? Like, what is it that I need to do? And then you can't bullshit yourself. You got to get right. So that's really what it's all about to me.
So, I mean, and how would you say that journey's been, though?
It's been amazing. I mean, sitting here right now, I'm on top of the world. Even if it's in my own mind, or even if it's on top of New Jupiter, that's where I am. Like, you know, going through all this, you know, even when you ask if it's bad blood, it's no bad blood with nobody from the past, but everybody got an ego. And so, you know, that's just one part of it, but that was a big part of my life, because that was, you know, what I was doing, that group for maybe 5-6 years, and running with certain people. And then you just take anything else that could have helped happen to me in life on top of that. That's where I was at that time when I started my solo journey. The first year, as I've mentioned before, it was a little bit rough. It was just trying to find the right people to work with, trying to find, damn, I've been doing this for 5-6 years. Where do I record at now? Like, where do I do? Like, what am I gonna do? So, and just, you know, definitely I've had times where I definitely went through, like, you know, depressed times, and, you know, nothing too crazy, but just normal life shit of just, you know, I definitely would let life get me down a lot, and I didn't always have, like, the most positive mind state, as far as just, I always somehow knew that I could do this rap shit, and that's, like, the main thing that I somehow had to be confident about since, like I said, like 8 years old. That was something that I never, like, you could talk about me, but you can't talk about my music. If we was in high school and you could say whatever you want about me, I probably wouldn't even say nothing. But if you said some shit like I'm bullshit on the mic, nah, like, music is just, it brought out a different side of me, and it brought out, like, a different confidence. You feel me? But, you know, even to continue doing it through some of them times, because, you know, I did go solo because I just felt like, you know, I wasn't so happy anymore. You feel me? And it could have been from nothing that crazy, but just like I said, different personalities, different opinions, different, you know, not just even with knowledge, just with everybody that was a part of it at that time. It was a lot going on, and it was a lot happening fast. And so yeah, I just at one point I just started getting on my meditation. And that was actually because of a whole nother situation that I just was overthinking a lot because of this certain thing that was going on. I was just starting to, like, yo, what's going on with me? Like, this ain't even me. You feel me? Like, I got to get right. I had been interested in meditation for a minute. And I was at Ren Thomas' studio, and he mentioned that he meditates. And I was like, Ren Thomas meditates? That's what's up. And then my dude, Light the MC, Twilight, however you know him, you know, he put me on to a lot of shit like that, as far as just, you know, if I ever was curious, like, yo, tell me about the chakras, or, you know, he might put me on to like something with meditation, but I always knew he meditated, and that's my big homie. So, you know, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be like this. I don't want to be overthinking. I don't want to be on some whatever shit. I want to be centered, like more disciplined. Like, how do I master myself? And really, I think the first thing that really set me on the journey is reading the book Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz. I read that book at a time when I needed it, started meditating. Every day I would do like 15 minutes a day. And I wouldn't even try to like judge myself if I think or not think. I would just sit there for 15 minutes, and, you know, it just would put me in tune with myself. And it just started to be, it makes you more like self-fulfilled. You don't really need nothing from nobody. You can't really be as needy. You're not looking to nobody for nothing, because you start to realize like how you could fulfill yourself. So with all that being said, like, you know, and a lot more that could go into that too. That could even be probably 6 more interviews. But you know, I'm in a much better place than I was when I was younger. Even, you know, before, when I was just a young solo artist, before I even met Knowledge, or before I was working with him like that, just being more angry, being more just, you know, sometimes, like I said, looking at the world with a negative view. So, you know, I'm grateful to be where I'm at now, and anybody that I could make feel better with my music, even if it's just to hear a good vibe, or if I could say something that could spark something in somebody's mind, like, it's a beautiful thing for me.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that answer. You disclosing that, man. So I love the less is more approach, man. So what made you say 6 songs for Release Party 2 instead of 5?
It really just happened that way. I don't put too much thought into I just let things flow. Like, when it comes to the track list, I mean, to be honest with you, Release Party 1 only being 5 songs, I don't even think, if I really was thinking in such a logical way, I would be like 5 songs. But if I'm just going off the feeling, I'm like, I'm good. I actually had 4 songs done, and then I did 5 Flower Town last, and I was like, I need this one. I need to finish this song to make 5 joints. It feels finished. And then for Release Party 2, Empath's Paradise, the new project, it just happened to be 6 songs, you feel me? It just happened to be what felt right.
Word. So I wanted to, like, a little bit more explanation on the title, Empath's Paradise.
Word.
What did you mean by that? And what was and can you explain what being an empath is? And
definitely. Another part of my journey, maybe 2 years ago or something, not too long ago, I somehow stumbled across what it meant to be an empath, and I resonated with it. As far as feeling people's energy, feeling what they feeling. And, you know, people hear empath, and of course, empathy is, you know, having empathy for somebody. But at the same time, being an empath is also something where, for whatever reason that makes us that way, if we born that way, or it's something from our childhood that makes us that way, for whatever reason that we are that way, it's like, you might not, especially as a young man, not in touch with his feelings, you might not even know that you're that, or there was maybe no word for that back then. And to really understand energetically that's a whole nother level of. I mean, you just a kid. You don't even know. You know. So when I found out about it, I'm like, it made a lot of sense to me. Like, okay, and you start to realize why you might do certain things, like, because empathy, being an empath is not all positive like it might sound. Because like I said, you dealing with everybody's baggage, everybody's energy. You a people pleaser because you have empathy. So everything that if somebody needs you, you're there. You might not even have nothing left for yourself. And being young and not even understanding any of this at all, just living life, you could see how like it could take a toll on you sometimes in a bad way. And so I just felt like that was a part of the journey with this album, getting more in touch with that side, certain things, mental health wise, psychologically, learning about how things affect you from your childhood, just a whole bunch of different things, but just what it means to be an empath. I heard people say you shouldn't get too attached to titles. So I think this is like my one time to put that energy out there of just what exactly that means for anybody that can relate to it. And I think anybody that's not a sociopath has some level of empathy. So even if you just look at it like have empathy, relate to me or relate to the world or whatever way you want to look at it, empath's paradise. And me kind of like identifying with that title, it could also be an oxymoron because when you like how I am right now and you in a great mental state and you on your path and your purpose, empath's paradise. Like it's paradise right now, it's heaven. But at the same time, if you let all the negative things affect you, then it's like, damn, empath's paradise. I have empathy for everybody, but I'm going through hell because, for reasons you might not even understand until you look into it. So that's why I always been the type of person after a while that's like, why is this happening to me? If you don't like something going on, you got to find how do I stop this? You feel me? And you got to just get knowledge yourself. You feel me?
Absolutely, man. So I noticed, man, Release Party 1, the beats were kind of more boom bap-ish, a little more hip-hop, a little more, at least the stuff that we grew up on. Release Party 2, it seems like you went in a totally different direction beat-wise, man. What inspired that?
Well, usually when I make an album, I just really go with my gut, whatever feels right to me. For me, with Release Party 1, I look at it as a culmination of styles. I had to kind of find out that, people felt like Tuesday Night was like, people was calling it, like saying it sounded like an old school hip hop beat. The most shit that I thought about when I heard it sounded like some Dilla shit to me.
Yeah.
I
definitely got that vibe.
Yeah, like it was just like a good vibe. And another chapter to me is kind of like trappish mixed with, this crazy Outkast sample, and it's like a vocal pitch, like a chopped and screwed type of voice on the hook. Mm-hmm. It's just, then it's just this. I felt like a more modern flow with maybe not so modern lyrics, philosophies, and just rap shit on that. And Bloom, that's an easy one for me. It's like more, it has 808s. It's more like that was more like you will put on at a party or a get together. You just want to blow down to. Then Feel Me, of course. Feel Me reminded me of like a Reasonable Doubt beat. It's definitely that's more like 90s in the best way possible. Like just a great boom bap beat. And then you add Fuzz Rico on there. That throws a whole nother element. And she was even out of her element because the type of style of music she does, I brought her in like a different world. And then I feel like Release Party 1, I feel like Feel Me, that's the main one I would probably like categorize just like that. But I feel like a lot of my shit is such a mesh of different styles that it's really on the listener. However you feel, you might hear like different opinions from different people. But as far as jumping from Release Party 1 to Release Party 2 now, like I said, I really just go with my intuition, whatever feels right to me. And then, I might have, honestly, I might have like 100 songs or something before I decide on these 6 are the ones that's about to go out. I might have, I have a lot of shit stacked up to the point where people not really ready for me right now because I could put out shit for the next couple of years. I got so much music and I continue working. So even though you might see a certain selection put out at the time, it's like that's just that piece. 5 songs fit for Release Party 1. Release Party 2, Empath Paradise, 6 songs just happen to be right. And I just don't like to, I never like to box myself in. I think even if you look at Discovery, you've seen us branching out into different styles where you had some backpack vibes and you had some even more streetish vibes and you had this alternative vibe on a lot of songs. Somebody asked me, did y'all do psychedelics when y'all made Discovery? I'm like, nah, we just smoke hella weed. But yeah, that's the best way I can answer it. Going into Release Party 2, that was just the vibe that I felt right for this particular time.
Word. And I mean, I always liked visuals a lot too, man. You guys, I think I had this kind of conversation with Fatboi about, like, I hate when artists do the videos where they're just rapping in front of graffiti and just
like a typical video.
Yeah, like a typical video, like an old smack video, or where y'all actually brought y'all music to life. You know what I'm saying? How did you guys? Was that all you guys that really created those treatments, or did you guys have help? Or
yeah, there's some directors like Ocean's 14th when we did Film Me. That was one director that I just followed his lead. He just wanted to follow me around. Whatever I was doing, he just wanted to follow me around. If I got a show, if I'm going to the studio, if I'm going to get a haircut, if I'm just chilling with my peoples, whatever we doing, driving around, he just wanted to follow me around. Go get something to eat, whatever. But most of my videos, I usually come up with the treatment for it. Another chapter, Bloom, Tuesday Night. But the director, like any good director, they'll throw in their input. They'll come up with certain ideas around that. But Film Me is probably the only video I could really think of that I didn't really just come up with the whole concept for it. You feel me?
I like that video a lot, man. I also like the Tuesday Night video. I know we were just watching it here not too long ago, man.
Good looks.
And I like the last part of Cal's interview where you guys kind of talked about how how particular you are about certain things with your videos and stuff. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, man. I just had to balance it out because I didn't want to get too Q-tip-ish or turn into Dr. Dre. I didn't want to go crazy with it. And hopefully I'll never get to that point. But, I've definitely learned to also find beauty in some of the imperfections that sometimes could make a song realer. Kind of saying, don't OD about it, but if you can't, basically, like I always say, when you don't have to think about it no more, that's when your song is done. When you could just listen to it and you don't hear shit, you don't think about nothing you want to change, no new ideas, it's just it's the perfect song for you, then it's good. But if I keep, certain little things that irk me. Yeah. Like I said, Discovery was a 2.5 year process, and that was the longest. I would just ride around, listen to different songs, and basically tweak this, tweak that, tweak. It could get kind of crazy where if you're not passionate about it, it could be a lot. It could be some people don't like being in the studio because they think it's just one big party. They think it's, how some people, there's somebody in the hood that go to the studio to get out their house and lay a track, smoke some weed with their homies. They might have some chicks with them, liquor. Some people, they go to the studio to do that. And some people make real music like that, of course, But to really, the tedious part of recording, engineering, mixing, producing, pardon me, it's a lot. So some people, they come to the studio and then they be like, yo, I don't know, cause I don't know if I want to go again. It just be mad tedious. Same thing with editing the video with a director. All my shit is tedious. Doing the album cover, the Release Party 2 cover took a little minute. Shout out to the artist Tierra. She did her thing. I gotta do it till it's right, man, because it's on nobody but me. So if it comes out and it could have been better, or if I was, too impatient to take my time and really make a good product, I would never do that. So I just gotta take my time until it just feels right for the world.
So do you feel you ultimately achieved your goal with this project?
Oh, for sure, definitely.
I'm trying to think. So now let's dive into it, man. I caught the interesting vibe, man, off of some of the songs, man, you had a little like kind of this West Indian vibe, this reggae vibe on
Lost,
some of the songs. Yeah. How did those songs come about, man? What made you want to step into that lane?
With Lost in particular, it's a dude named is Nith from Toronto. That's who produced Jupe God and Lost. And with Lost, I just heard that beat. I'm like, yo, this shit is hard. I don't know what I'm gonna do to this, but I need this beat. And believe it or not, a lot of beats that I get, whatever style they are, that's how I feel when I first hear them. Like when I first heard Bloom, certain beats, you'll be like, yo, I don't know what I'm gonna do to this, but that's part of pushing your art forward. You can't do the same old thing, and you gotta stay creative. So,
absolutely,
you know, when I heard Lost, I was like, yo, I have no idea what I'm gonna say, what I'm gonna do on this, but I just know with my intuition, I need this beat right here.
And I like the parts too where you kind of let the singers do their thing. And you kind of let them, I guess, more or less take the lead on those songs. I felt like I think maybe one of them, I think you only had one verse on each of like the songs. Like I know it was Lost, and I think
Lost,
and
yeah.
then New Kid. I think that's what it's called.
Kids on the Journey.
Yeah, Kids on the Journey. I think you only had like one verse on that too, right? Or
now I had two on there. Yeah, Lost. I had it's Nyambi J on the hook. That's my homegirl from Patterson. She dope as hell. Yeah. First time I seen her with her mixtape with just, you know, it's like in a meditation pose with the chakras. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Yeah. Shout out to Lori Love for putting me on to her. I'm like, yo, I gotta work with her. And we did the song Empath Paradise and the song Lost. So she's on the hook, she's on the third verse. And the Eye of a Genius is on the second verse. And yeah, I'm on the first verse. That's why even if you listen to the whole song towards the end, you'll hear me come in with like a little ad-lib because I'm like, I got to be a little bit more on this song. Yeah. But it really was just an ill collaboration. Like once Nyambi got on it and she really laid the foundation, that's like all respect due to her because I still was confused with what I was going to do. And then one day I was on the treadmill and I started just freestyling some shit and it was just some spiritual life shit. Like I look at that song as like a fly lit Third Eye song, like, you know. And then I said, yo, I want the Eye of a Genius on here, another local artist. Like, you know, we all got these unique styles. And, you know, so that's how that one came about right there.
And I noticed you're saying most of your features are Patterson artists. Do you keep your ear to the ground in Patterson?
As much as I can. I mean, just Jersey in general, or just the world in general, but definitely when it comes to Patterson, like, you know, my boy 100 Grand, another good friend, he's on 2 songs. And even like Data Mosh, he's from Garfield. That's my hometown where I'm originally first from. Okay. So like people from those specific areas and just anywhere locally like that is definitely people that I want to help support, especially a city like Patterson where it's, you know, it's tough to get out there. A lot of people, in my opinion, don't even always push it that far because the mentality, like if somebody don't get on in like, you know, 3 years, like shit could be so real for you. You like, you kind of just be like, it's not working out, you know. I'm thankful that God blessed me with time to really perfect my craft and just, you know, keep my head in the game, you know. So, yeah, like even Sean Gotti, he does the background vocals on Kids on the Journey. Anybody that knows Sean Gotti from Silk City Lab, they won't even know that's him. They're going to be like, yo, who is that? So, you know, just because that's the area I'm in, I live on the outskirts of Patterson. I grew up in Fairlawn, so Garfield, Fairlawn, and Patterson, that's my upbringing, you feel me? So, but I didn't really like growing up in Fairlawn, so being in high school and then meeting people from Patterson, it became like, that became my stomping grounds. And, you know, just more relatable. And so anybody that I can help out, anybody that especially is on some different shit, because so many people, you know, you're going to hear a lot of people doing street shit. Somebody might do some more like, you know, some party type shit. But when it comes to Nyambi J, the Eye of a Genius, 100 Grand, you know, Sean Gotti, all of these artists, even Kaimo from Passaic, you know, we got a record out called Ghost Of Raekwon. So, and just Jersey in general, I'm a Jersey representative, New Jupiter to be exact, you know, so it's like, if you want that New Jupiter wave, see, a lot of people want the New Jersey wave, but if you want a New Jupiter wave, that's my type of frequency. So those are the people I end up fucking with and wanting to, you know, help out and just make beautiful music with.
Absolutely, man. And I know recently, man, I know you recently lost your grandfather, man. What did he mean to you, man? And can you tell us about your grandfather, man?
Yeah, shout out to my grandfather, man. Francis Xavier Allerin. You know, it was tough. You know, this was just like a couple weeks back. But you know, me being in my spiritual mode now, I'm thankful. It was a lot easier to just, you know, as soon as I heard the news, I just went into meditation for like 20 minutes. Took my dog outside, walked around, you know, took him for a walk and came back in, meditated some more. And it's like, you know, you cry, but in meditation, you kind of are able to kind of witness the feeling instead of just letting it take you over. You can almost see it like from a third eye view or from like a secondary person view of like, this is what I'm feeling, but I don't have to let it. I could choose to let it take me over. I could choose to react negatively, or, you know, and by all means, you know, of course, always when it comes to death, like, you can't fault nobody for being sad, of course, but, you know, just on the path I'm on now, like, you know, I'm still in touch with my grandfather spiritually. You know, he was a good man. That's my mother's father. And the grandparents that I was closest with is them. And so, you know, he just definitely showed me, you know, hard work, family values, loyalty, just, you know, he's an old Goomba from Jersey City. You feel me? So, you know, that's my guy forever. You know, I'm just grateful to have him in my life and to, you know, carry on his legacy, and him living through me is something that I want to do. But at the same time, you know, I want to let people know that in meditation and prayer, however way works for you, like, you could always be in touch with your family members, your ancestors, your loved ones that passed, your fallen homies, whoever it is. You know, it's all about your perspective, and sometimes I think, you know, we don't always have to look at it like the way that we normally do. Even if you see my post, I think it probably was weird for a lot of people, because we usually deal with it like a certain way. But, you know, my grandfather, he passed to the other side at 85. So to me, I'm like, we need to celebrate this man. Jersey City, Garfield, all of New Jersey. This is a guy that was popular. Everybody loved him. He would tell you stories all day. The funniest, best stories. He'll talk reckless. He ain't give a fuck. He'll say anything in front of anybody. And everybody loved him for it because he just had that confidence. Like, I remember thinking a couple of years ago, like, yo, this man is in his 80s and he has more charisma, like, in his pinky than I have, that most people have in their whole body. Yeah. Like, how is he's so lively? You feel me? And that's why I'm like, I don't even think he would want us to be like that. Like, it's like, just celebrate this man and, you know, shout out to him and the whole family. You feel me?
I mean, what do you hope to, I guess, achieve with this album? You know, what's the what I guess is the goal going into it?
Just to establish myself more. Like I said, you know, those early projects, Truth Hurts, then going into Jersey Shore EP, Discovery, it was about like just getting established. But then, you know, when you go through some of those intergroup turmoils and just, you know, family turmoils, or, you know, people growing in different directions, like I said, you know, that was the hard part. You come out with Release Party, it's like, damn, another classic. This is a great piece of work. But now it's like, all right, you know, to continue it going, you know, manifesting more money, more opportunities, do more great things, do more, you know, for the community, for the people, just to continue to be on that path of creativity, you know, providing a stable life, providing for my family, and just living this that spiritual rock star life. You feel me? Like, just to keep being called. Like, you know, some people do things for a job, some people do things for whatever reason they do them for, but when you just in line with your purpose and you on your path, then that's just all what it is. It's like, you know, I could have been maybe a motherfucking reverend or some shit, but I'm a fucking...
You still can.
I'm not gonna be a reverend, but shout out to the reverends out there.
I mean, I'm ordained. You know, I could perform weddings and stuff.
Okay,
you know?
see,
I start putting that out there. More,
yeah,
man.
see, priest in the house.
You know what I mean? Nah, man. I did that like I saw New Year's Eve. I saw Steve Harvey. Mm-hmm. And he said, "Yo, he married someone on TV, and he was like, I just became a pastor. And I just Googled how to do it and signed up, and I was ordained within probably 10 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
And I'm married to the game. You feel me? So
Yeah, hell yeah.
you a reverend witnessing it live right now. I marry the game again every day.
Yeah.
And as far as the album, Jupe God, shout out to my dude Luchi. Desensitized with Big Rube. I mean,
yeah, I wanted to ask you about that one before we end off, man. Tell us about that record, man. It was interesting to hear him because he was just talking in between you, and I think that's interesting that you got a collab instead of getting a verse. You got someone to talk and someone
that was me producing that right there too, because I had asked him to do it again. We settled on like him doing it in like a different tone, like a different vibe to it. And I knew he was going to do like a little intro talking. So I was like, yo, I want you to say this on the song. I want you to say, shout out ATLiens and shout out New Jupiter. Like, let's show that synergy. And it was so lit, and there really wasn't a need for a real hook or a hook on it. So I was like, this going to be the hook. And, it just plays. It's almost like your hood operator or like one of them old school guys on the radio. But this the street version, you feel me? Like, so shout out to Rube. I mean, doing that song, Nick Wiz produced Kids on the Journey, which was a huge honor. And that's one of the songs that Rosenberg actually played.
Okay.
Actually, Rosenberg, for those that don't know, I got played twice in one night on High 97. So Rosenberg played.
I saw you going off, man. You were going off like 5 days later.
So. 5 days? I'm still going off about it. I'm still going off.
How is it like being an East Coast kid and getting on High 97?
That's an all-time achievement. I mean, and I keep telling people, in this day and age, to have it genuinely happen with so much things are money. Everybody start a podcast, a magazine. As soon as it start, they want you to pay to do it. Like, nobody knows y'all. Everybody trying to get paid, and they trying to, it could be a show. You start out, automatically they want to, okay, we got to get money off this kid, even if it's just to pay the headliner. I'm going to tell you this. I was coming out of meditation. I think I was about to watch a Pacino movie. And Fatboi texts me, Rosenberg playing Kids on the Journey. This is the one Nick Wiz produced. Like, it just, it's the perfect beat. To me, it's almost like the core of the album. It means a lot. Yeah. So for him to play that, but then an hour later, I'm doing whatever. Fatboi texts me again. I'm not listening. I'm not even thinking he's going to play nothing else again. Yo, he playing the Big Rube joint. What? I run to my car. I'm listening. I'm like, yo, Rosenberg is playing me on the strength.
He played twice.
Because I had met him last year. And, what you call it? I had sent him some records from Release Party 1. He didn't play none of them. And I don't know if maybe songs like Bloom didn't fit like the format, because that his show on Sundays is, he's going to try to get people exposure. So it's a more underground show. And so he tries to like stay in that realm. So like a Feel Me, he probably would have played that 5 Flower, but I sent him the 3 singles. This time I kind of knew, like, I'm not going to send him Lost. That's something he'll play on the mainstream hours, you feel me? And hopefully he will. But, Kids on the Journey, Desensitized with Big Rube, I guess that resonated with him. I had no clue, bro. Life just works out like that. Sometimes you sitting in your house about to watch a Pacino movie and Rosenberg plays you on High 97 2 times.
That's what's up, man. I know you were waiting till we got together to actually talk about the album, and you wanted to hear what I thought of the album. I thought it was a great piece of work. I thought the beat choices were interesting, but the words were there. Everything was beautiful. It sounds like a well thought out thing, man.
Word.
It sounds like being able to go through something like your mental health journey and everything, but then also having the talent and being able to detail it and be able to talk about it and be able to, make great music about it, man. It's a talent in itself, man. And I think you did a great fucking job on that album, bro. I thought it was really dope, bro.
You already know. That means a lot.
I'm feeling drizzy. I built the city, no planet. Show the bracket of my cabinet how to flow and slam it. No Fredro, sticky fingers on the metal. Did I blast myself or take a rescue? I could sense you listening, you got no idea. Flashing back to it now, man, I could flow a year. Some people call you brother, just to slug you. If I was smarter back then, wouldn't adapt and hugged you. But it's lessons learned and giving life's a test and turn. Inside out, I should've wore a vest and burned. Less physically, it gets to me, you bigger B. Don't let these motherfuckers steal the energy. But I feel lost and nailed upon a steel cross. I could peel off to the next life, but I feel forced to stay upon the planet, making it rain. Not with money, but with knowledge, make a way from the pain.
I won't get another chance to be me.